Streetism is relatively a new term that means living on the streets or being from the streets. This is the James Corner, and I am your host, Mustafa Latifa alias James. Now, a population of Ghana's children under the age of 15 is 38.1%. What amount? An amount. Well, and the youth has a role to play human resource wise to the development of a nation. So how will streetism affect the nation if we have our youth mostly living off the streets and doing things that will not help the nation to develop? Okay, as a parent, I think you would want to know some of the factors that can possibly hinder or that can possibly push your kids to want to live on the street. So some of these reasons or some of these causes can be poverty. Just from the same streetism, you have a guy living off the streets, gets a girl on the streets, impregnates the girl, they live in a single room. At the end of the day, they start having children because there's nothing for entertainment in that room. Example like TV, there is no TV for entertainment. So the guy will be out and come home and all they can find as entertainment is, excuse me to say, sex. So at the end of the day, you see that they have a lot of kids. And as kids are growing, when they get to a certain age, they think that having their privacy is paramount to them. So then they begin to live with their friends. Sometimes problems come between them and their friends. Then after that, you see them staying on the streets doing all manner of things, drugs and things like that. So as a parent, you would want to work so hard and at least attain a standard of living before you think about having kids. Parental neglect could also be a factor in which could cause streetism. Most often you find that parents have children more than they earn, so they find it so hard to cater for them. And you see children when they go to school, when they have friends who have things that they can't have, it takes a very fast parent to notice that, okay, my child has brought this home. Where did my child get it from? Like, sit the child down, ask the child questions as to where they get some clothes, mobile phones, hairdos, shoes. So as a parent, you would want to keep track of what your child brings home. Where did they get it from? Who gave it to them? Another factor that could cause child streetism, physical and sexual abuse. Well, most often you find that single parenting is the major factor of this physical and sexual abuse. Or a parent being busy. Sometimes we have women who are traders who go from one town to another doing business, trading. They don't get to come home. So if you have a child who is staying with a parent who is not actually their parent, most often they find it so difficult being with them, especially if the person is a pedophile. Sometimes you trust family, relatives so much that you think that your child is safe with them. But it will shock you what people do nowadays to their own children, sexually. So we should try as much as we can to put our child in cares in which we know or we are so sure of that at the end of the day, you won't have your child defiled or you won't have your child physically and sexually abused. Streetism could cause children a lot of health and other hazards. The other day on the news, a young guy actually lost his life as a result of him trying to save drivers from a mad woman. The woman allegedly was throwing stones at drivers who were driving on the overhead circle. So he went as a good citizen to go help the drivers or sack the woman from throwing the stones. And when he got there, the woman actually stoned the guy to death. So you see, and this is a person who doesn't even live on the streets. So how much more children who cannot defend themselves, children who does not even know their left from their right, living on the streets. At the end of the day, you can find them dead with nobody to hold responsible. That's how come we see teenage pregnancies. These are some of the hazards or health dangers your child can face if they are living on the streets. Well, I can't give you all these things without telling you what you can do as a parent to curb streetism. This goes a long way, and then it needs each and every individual in the community for us to join hands to help curb child streetism. Yes, and when there are amenities like schools, libraries, parks in which children can play at their leisure times, they can go and read at the libraries. They have schools, they have running water, they have all these amenities, the simple basic amenities of life, I think can distract them a lot from wanting to be on the streets. And also, if there's this tight family bond, you know, children will be able to confide in their parents about whatever is happening in their life. Mommy, the last time uncle this called me, he touched my breast. Mommy, the last time this person made a joke about my face. This person made a joke about my buttocks. All these things. If you give your children an environment where they can trust and confide in you, it helps curb streetism. Mommy, the other time my friend gave me an advice that I should try weed. She's been taking it. Try and create a very good bond with yourself and your child so you know what is happening with them. So this has been the Gems Corner, and you know how we do it. We bring you content that will help the bond of your family to go stronger and stronger. In turn, it helps develop everybody. And I have been your host, Mustafa Latifa alias Chen. Bye.